What's good, YouTube? We're back with the 100th Market Watch. I wanted to do something really special, but after coming back from YCS Pittsburgh, a lot of things have been changing, and I wanted to just get right back into it like normal. So, back to your regularly scheduled 100th Market Watch here. Zodiac Barrage has been going up. The results of the YCS of the weekend were jokes, and I don't know if this is quite true on the barrage number, but people are joking 32 Nordens, 64 Rats, and 96 Barrages overall in the top cut. I wouldn't doubt it at all, but man, it's starting to go up pretty fast. It had bottomed out at 40. It's already headed back up towards 50. National season is coming, and it's looking like if you're not playing Zoo, you might not be topping, as every single deck happened to play Zoo. There was Infernoid Zoo, there were other kind of Zoo decks in the top cut. True Draco Zoo taking it all down with Aaron Furman, but across the board, we see prices starting to rise again on Zoo. Broad Bull, I had shown, had bottomed out and is quickly rebounding to the tune of $17. You might have had some chances to snipe them for 12s, but now that is gone. Drident's still down. A lot of people speculating that if there is some kind of emergency list, it'll be Drident Norden going and we'll keep Broad like the OCG. Should be very interesting to see if we do get some kind of change with so much of a top cut being gripped by it, with so long to wait before national seasons, a couple months here. So I would hope that we do actually see some kind of change. And Chalk 9 keeps heading down. I think it will continue to head down as more packs get opened. I don't think it's good to trade for these because it's only a 2 of as an Ultra. And as we see with the rest of the Ultras, they tend to stay down around the $1.50 to $2 mark. Definitely would not consider, you know, trading and trying to keep these up. Even though it's going to be one of the only Zoo cards not possible to be in the Megatens. By that point, after the Megatens, I think Zoo will be hit so heavily it may or may not matter. I think it'll continue to go down before it goes up, though, in my personal opinion. Zodiac Barrage at $48 here on eBay, so cheaper on eBay. We're going to see this a lot, which is odd to me this week, because I haven't heard any problems with TCG Player the past couple of weeks, and eBay's... First, you get the 30-cent PayPal fee taken from you, then the 2.9% PayPal fee, and I think it's something like, what is it, like 9 or 10% from eBay as well. So the fees overall are much higher on eBay versus I think the 7 or 9% on TCG Player. Forget which exact one it is. But it's really interesting to just see during this market watch, a lot of the cards seem lower on eBay, including our next card, Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King. I would trade for these now. If there's any kind of emergency list, this will go up, but I think only to the tune of about 35, maybe 40 once again. But you're not really making a lot of return on your investment for the risk. But I would trade at full for these. I wouldn't be stingy trading towards them, but I would be stingy with my wallet. I would not go out and spend them unless I needed them for a tournament. Having won the event, I think it would be smart to have these, though. And 24, 25 here. I don't think there will be any sort of hit of this card on any kind of list coming up soon. But I do think it's going to have its time and viability, especially having just, like, again, Aaron Furman finally joining the Champ Club with this card. Card of Demise. Everyone was freaking out. This card hit around $50, I think, during the weekend at its low. It's already cooled back down. Excuse me. It's already cooled back down under its norm of 36 here, down to 35. And we see it on eBay even lower, near mint 32 and then 35 with a brand new listing. So people are jumping ship on this card really fast. It's not like this card did a ton this weekend. I don't think it's the best version of True Draco, but again, speculation of some kind of emergency list, this card would be very good. I just don't see it going much higher than this price point. I think it was a high of 25 during the formats where this was played heavily, so it's interesting to see it at this point, just off of hype and not actual proven viability and just theory viability. I would not suggest picking this up unless you need it to play. Storming Mirror Force, thanks to the organization for this info, is getting a reprint in the OCG structure, I believe. And as such, is quickly falling. This is one of the few cards TCG player is lower on. 588, somebody is jumping ship on theirs now real fast. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market. Alright, Henry. And then we see quickly other prices lining down below it as well. But on eBay, it's still at the $7 point, so I might consider listing it over here, potentially, to try to get a quick sale. But I think we'll see it quickly become the same price as the common, which will be 3 to 4. Typically, the gold rares sit at about the same as commons, and excuse me, still came back from Pittsburgh, weather changing. It's a little rough here to go through an entire market watch. But definitely, I would jump ship on these at $5 or above. If your local vendor is still buying them at $5, gladly hand them over. Maybe even like 4s. I think it'll be the 3 to 4 mark. As if it actually is going to hit an R structure, and I think it will. After getting Quaking, I think it's very, very likely we'll start to see all the Mirror Forces pop up in our structure decks. Sakuretsu Armor. The big note isn't the Champion Pack Super, but the attempted and failed buyout of the Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World one. We saw a low of $10 on both platforms, and that actually got bought out to that point, but we see major vendors like Core and other vendors quickly selling them at the proper price point. You see the market price of $278. People without greed listing theirs and cooling it down off quickly. If the vendors want to keep it up that are trying to buy this out, they're going to have to keep buying out others. And I think it's very smart by them to be not greedy with that. And I think we'll continue to see it cool down. GOAT format has been super hype. Collector's cards have been super hype. But I think this one was a mistake of a buyout by whoever did it. XXX exposed. And quickly on eBay as well, cooling down from that $10 price point at $5, $6.50 on the Yugi's World, and I think it'll continue to go down. I think this was a pretty bad call on a buyout. I think it will rest at its old price, as it just doesn't have the collectability factor of the Champion Pack ones that people actually were going for. And these have been up for a while. Last I think I covered it was 50, so it's actually managed to continue to climb, interestingly enough, for the Champion Pack ones, and stay up there. But I think you're not going for the actual original hollowed out version. This was a poor buyout. I would have got these just to play if you couldn't afford the other supers or as something to have, but I don't think you should have just bought this card completely out. I think that's not the way to do it with cards like these. MX Saber Invoker is something else I would consider because of Zoo. Even if, especially the Ultra version. Even if Zoo gets hit heavily on some kind of adjusted list that everybody's talking about, it's the card that's more likely to keep its price because it's involved in other decks and other situations that you can use it in. It'll still trickle down, but you won't lose as much, so I think this is a fine card to have if you need to play it, and it's at one of its lowest prices at all. It hasn't been affected at all by the win. Yes, it's a 1 to 2 of, mostly a 1 of, but I think it's smart to have it, and we see a low of $14.50 before 15, just lower on eBay once again. So I always sound like a broken record on check both, but eBay's throwing the bombs on almost everything but Storming Mirror Force so far here. Zefras, interestingly, have been clocking on up in the market as well. This is the Teller Knight Zefra, and he's a 1 to 2 of in the deck from what I've been told and seen, but yet this old Ultra Rare has spiked to the tune of having been below $2 to $6. I've personally tried messing around with the deck. You do need it. It's a cool thing to load into your scale with Zefra. It's a 4, but I just spiking like that when it didn't top is so weird to me. Like it topped some other events, it topped some nationals. It's just weird. It's a weird place to be that this deck is spiking like this. As we see also as low as 851, but that's a lie. 1147 with a quote unquote norm of 930. it's just weird to see this deck going up. Also on eBay, cheaper like has been the trend for our Stellar Knight Zefra. It's so weird to me. This one was weird. At least to me. At least to me. And we see lower here as well. $9, $9, $9. It's really weird to see an archetype like start to spike on TCG Player because eBay tends to follow. But I'm not sure if this was the fallout as I just got to this situation. It's just an odd place to be in. I have no advice for this situation other than if you want to play it, get it. It's relatively cheap for a deck that will do well, that can top events, that is really cool to and fun to play. But I would probably hold off on picking up this piece till last. Thanks for watching Market Watch, guys. Sorry for the throat. It's been really rough to just talk through it with the weather change for me. But what do you guys think of the market? Do you think there will be some kind of emergency list? There's a lot of talk about it, and what would be on it if it does happen? How much of a change would we actually get if there's some kind of list update? And how would that affect the market? A lot of tanking and a lot of spiking is really obvious in my opinion. Thanks for watching, guys.